I've realized many people, they don't ask the right questions. They are being misled by the media. The media, if you don't know, a media is a propaganda outlet that is designed to fool you, to make you believe in a false reality. It can be used to manipulate you, to indoctrinate you, to lie to you, to make you believe in something that is not real. The media can also educate you, show you things that you have never even been exposed to in your life. The media can do a lot of things, good or bad. But there's a situation of ZAMAS, illegal Zimbabweans, illegal Maputos, Mozambicans. They were found doing ZAMA mining in South Africa, mining gold illegally, and they were found there. And they were exposed, and the media was all over there reporting this story. And there was plenty of them, young people, some are old, black people though. Watch this.
Authorities have blocked food supply to the miners underground. Some members of the community, some of their family members have been going there trying to give them food. The police, together with the army, they've blocked those food supplies, trying to force some of the miners to come out. And what you see on your screen right now is some of those miners resurfacing as well. Some of them. It will be interesting to see just how many they are. But from what I can see here, quite a lot of those miners, many of them spent months on end underground. In some instances, we've heard family members saying that they receive their medication, their chronic medication underground. I'm just noticing, I don't know if you can see that, many of them look so young. They look barely 20 years old. They will now be apprehended, they will now be processed, and we will of course be following their stories. But so young, these young men coming from communities of the likes of Mozambique, and we've heard reports that some of them are from various African countries, most of them illegally in the country, but so young. Can you imagine what the family members are going through, seeing their loved ones? They've been underground, illegal miners, I must add, underground for many months, and many of their family members were very worried. But the key questions that you've been hearing, of course, our reporter Bafadile Mwerane asking are questions of who is operating this syndicate, because we're finding thousands of illegal miners underground. Who is, of course, in charge of this syndicate? So as you see it on your screen there, more illegal miners have now come to the surface. We've heard reports that thousands are still underground. We'll get an update from our reporter Bafadile Mwerane, but those will now be added to many that has to be processed and are expected to appear in court this morning already. I am absolutely shocked by how young these boys look. You're talking probably some of them in their early 20s, most of them looking barely 20.
You saw, right? The question you have to ask is not, these foreigners, where do they come from? They must go back home. ZAMAS. You are doing the wrong things. Ask the right questions. Whose mine is this? Who owns the legal rights to this mine? If you can't find out that, who are they selling this gold, this diamond, this silver, this platinum to? If they are ZAMAS, they are clearly in business selling these diamonds, this gold to someone. Who is buying these things? Of course, buying these things will mean that who is advocating for these ZAMAS to continue digging these things, because somehow someone is going to buy them. Then you are on the right path of thinking. And I'll tell you why I say you are in the right path of thinking. That's what journalists do. That's what investigators do. They follow the money. They don't just look at the victim, because I believe some of these ZAMAS, they are victims of manipulation. They are being forced to enter those mines, to dig mines for someone. So who has the... You saw there that mine, the place where they were coming from. It's beautiful, there's houses, there's neighboring people around. And there's also been reported that there's people who go there as a feeding scheme to feed these ZAMAS, whether from outside or from within. Don't be afraid. Ask, who is responsible for feeding these ZAMAS? Who are the people who are feeding these ZAMAS? Who are the people who these ZAMAS are selling these illegal mining things where they mine illegally? Who are they selling it to? Then you'll be a true journalist. Then you'll be a real investigator. Because after that, you'll start following the trail. You'll start knowing things which many people wouldn't know. People who just focus, ZAMAS, foreigners, they must go. They will never know what you will know when you ask the right questions. And then you start digging through the rabbit hole. You start finding out things that people who are ignorant will never know. And then you'll be ahead of the game. And you will know things about the world. You will know how the world is run. You will know why certain things happen the way they happen. You will even know why these people are called ZAMAS. You will even know why are these ZAMAS only black people and young people who can't even be prosecuted by the law of South Africa, harder like that. You will even know why these ZAMAS, they are not arrested, but they are deported to their countries. You will know a lot of things if you ask the right questions. But if you don't, you will never know. You will continue complaining. You'll continue expecting different results. But you are doing the same thing every day. But you expect different results. You will never be ahead of the game. You will never be a visionary. You will never be a guy who is able to see the world from a different perspective, because you don't think different from the majority of the sheep. You must be outside of the game. Don't focus on the rat race. Think differently. Think independently. Think like a mastermind. Think like someone who's willing to solve a problem, not someone who's just willing to blame anyone who comes across as the first perpetrator. No, there's plenty of people involved. Young tall. And if you can't find out a lot of things, then you might as well arrest these ZAMAS. They will speak. And then you wonder why these people never even go to court to testify. You wonder why these people, their cases is never popularized, whereby people, even patriots of South Africa, end up following the stories. Hey, what's happening with the ZAMAS? Who's involved with the ZAMAS? You never know. It just trends one day, there's ZAMAS, and then this whole thing of foreigners must go start again, then it's done. You never know what happened to the case of ZAMAS. You know why? Because you're not ahead of the game. You're being taken for a fool, and you don't see it. You think you're smart, you're a patriot, you're this guy, hey, put South African first. You don't know how the world works. You're being played and you can't see. But it is what it is. I don't know why these ZAMAS were doing those things. I don't know why there's even ZAMAS. Why are they called ZAMAS then? Why? What's ZAMA in? What's ZAMA when there is into ZAMA? Hey, the world will show you about faith. Is into the Hey. Hi, Ziatusa, and many people don't know, they're not aware what's happening. But it is what it is. Thank you very much.